I wasn't here when WeLoop was initially installed, and when I arrived, I discovered it along with a number of other things. And of course, when you arrive in a new position, you think, out with the old, I'm going to put in what I know. In the case of WeLoop, having that direct integration with the back end was something I hadn't seen elsewhere. My name is Ken Abbott, and I'm responsible for the internet site at Thales Group. Within the digital communication team, we want the internet site to perform well for our visitors, prospects, but we also need to ensure it works well for our contributors. Without our contributors making it easy for them, the website doesn't live as well, isn't as up to date as it should be. So ThalesGroup.com lives based on a community of 170 contributors who are spread throughout a number of our business units and around the world in different countries. And so the real challenge of the project is this decentralization. And how can we, through multiple time zones, create a community with a sense that they're all participating and they're all being heard? So before we had WeLoop, we would just be receiving individual questions from people. We would get often feedback when things didn't work, but we didn't always hear when things were working. Now with WeLoop, we have people who can vote, who can give an opinion about something, and we have a sense that people are helping each other a little bit and contributing more and more and feeling part of something bigger than just their individual contribution to a section. So WeLoop was naturally adopted by, I would say, our younger generation of contributors. It's taking a little bit more time for people who've been here for a couple of decades, but still they find it very easy. They understand, you just click on the button and then they understand now what a loop is and how to create a loop. And the feedback that we've had spontaneously has been that people really like it because they get a quick response to their questions and to their queries. And that's due, of course, not just to WeLoop, but also to my team who answers the questions very quickly. So the first results that are helpful for us are to be able to quantify how much support we give. We can list the number of questions that we're getting every month and give a report to our management to show how much support time we were spending with the community. Then next, it allows us to classify the types of questions we're getting. Do we have lots of bugs? Are there people who don't really understand how to contribute? And that helps us to orient our frequently answered questions and helps us to orient our future training programs. Thanks to WeLoop, we've now got a central place where all of the questions come in rather than being scattered across emails. That allows us not only to filter the questions and to make sure that every question gets an answer, but we can also immediately synchronize some questions that require development with the ticketing system from our agency. They use Jira. There's an integration with Jira. We just push those tickets that we need to off to the agency. So WeLoop has a few key features for me. The synchronization with Jira that allows us to push tickets is great. The ability to do surveys, I think, is fantastic. We've got a lot of requests for different features. We can just put it to a vote. Also, when we have new releases, we have release notes. We want to tell people at such and such a date and time, all of these bugs were fixed or these new features appeared, and WeLoop allows us to push that out to the community. And the more we use these features, the more people understand that getting on WeLoop makes them part of the community. There are some quantitative indicators that clearly have been impacted. It's very easy for us now to list the number of questions that we got, the number of bugs that were identified. On a qualitative basis, our contributors are telling us that they get a sense they have a faster response time. And for myself, I can see that we're not losing track of requests that come in. I have a sense that we've really got a handle on everything that's happening with our community. I wasn't here when WeLoop was initially installed, and when I arrived, I discovered it along with a number of other things. And of course, when you arrive in a new position, you think, out with the old, I'm going to put in what I know. In the case of WeLoop, having that direct integration with the back end was something I hadn't seen elsewhere, and something that I think is really important. It's a focus on giving the users who are contributing to our site context right when they're doing their work, and I think that's a fabulous plus.